Yes, sir. It was Gucci YouTube. It's your boy Black Uchiha 3, long face, skinny body, and we back still black with some more fire Boruto anime manga content for you in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash the like button, share the video with your friends, because we finna get right to the business. Yes, sir. Ski. So it's not absurd to say that the potential of Sarada reaching Otsutsuki power levels is definitely there in the story, and all of the writing and justification is definitely there if done right. And I'm saying that in a sense with comparison to figures like obviously Team 7 this generation, including Kawaki. Boruto and Kawaki can be looked at in a sense of running away in terms of power, and even we get a couple of chapters back, Sarada and Mitsuki is chatting like they're very frustrated and disappointed with their lack of inclusion in the ongoing events that's been happening in both Boruto and Kawaki's life, affecting the village, the ninja world, and shit like that. With Sarada's dream of, eventually becoming a Hokage in a similar manner to Naruto, being able to be relied upon, and that pillar and symbol of hope and peace for the village itself, and Mitsuki wanting to basically be there with Boruto in the sense of him pursuing his dream, being the moon to Boruto's sun. Now, in Mitsuki's case, I've even talked about it in the previous video not too long ago, of how his power and his sage mode specifically is very critical to the plot of Boruto's story, and its lack of introduction even in the manga and its rare inclusions in the anime also tells me and gives me the belief that they have something big planned for it, in a manner that they don't know what they need it for, but they understand that they can save it for a particular moment that ultimately will put the story over an edge in a certain point where we see Sarada saying that they need to become stronger to be in that Otsutsuki tier. Want to be technical, they said powerful Otsutsuki. So in a sense where Sarada and Mitsuki, just referring to those who have already been built up as prodigy since a young age in their own respective right. Now, Mitsuki's sage mode, we've seen the boost that it can do for him. We've seen the power up that it grants him, and we've seen the different stages that he incurs upon going into that sage mode. So it's not even too far-fetched to believe Mitsuki's full power sage mode will definitely be touching Otsutsuki power, especially in time skip territory, in the sense that he is also a clone of Orochimaru and a product that was meant to fight against Otsutsuki themselves. Now, when it comes to Sarada, a lot of people tend to forget that her and Boruto were always compared together at a younger age in a similar manner of being child geniuses for their respective clans and top of the class, with Boruto most likely being 1, Sarada being 2, in a sense where things came easy to them. They're able to master or perfect certain techniques that their teachers or even their parents were able to do at a much later age, or in a much sense of the more difficult or detailed aspects of chakra control and shit like that. Now, in terms of Sarada, it's already been pointed out her flaws, and we've already seen instances and glances of her strengths, and compared to her weaknesses, the balance isn't really that crazy, where we understand that she's really dealing with a stamina issue, and it ties back to kind of like a similar stance where we've seen with Kakashi, how his body wasn't completely Uchiha, so he never adapted to the effects and drawbacks of the Sharingan. Now, Sarada, in a sense, being half Uchiha, does it have anything to do with that? Maybe, maybe not. It's not even like the point of the matter, in a sense where Sarada's stamina is going to be the main issue. Sakura even talked to her about that shit when they were having their own training arc in the anime. With that being at hand, we've still seen Sarada overcome such an obstacle to where she's able to match Sakura's strength in terms of chakra control and chakra manipulation when going in for a final punch, in a similar manner where we understand figures like Sakura and Tsunade have exceptional chakra control and are able to use basically the minimum amount of chakra needed to maximize a crazy ass or strong powerful ass attack. In Sarada's case, she's not that well adept to manipulating her chakra. However, using her Sharingan, she's able to copy or mimic the movements and abilities of other people. So in a sense, she's able to automatically see, okay, that's how she's doing the chakra control, and mimic her mother's body's movement, which is how she's able to copy her mother's strength. Sarada has shown cases where her talent with the Sharingan is extremely like up like in the upper echelons, doing things that we seen 3-Tomo Sasuke at 12 years old not being able to do with his Sharingan in terms of genjutsu wise. She's only having 1 Tomoe pulling off crazy ass genjutsu feats. She's finally had 2 Tomoe released in the deeper fight, and we seen what her 2 Tomoe is able to do and the power and speed amp is giving her, as we seen in the fight against Boro, and being able to now fully manipulate and produce a Chidori at her own being. Sarada is a motherfucking genius, and this is just all we're talking like base Sarada. Adding the Sharingan on top of that doesn't really add too much, because in the instances where Sarada needs to fight with her Sharingan, it's always on and off. She has to, like I said, in similar manner to Kakashi, mind how much she's using her Sharingan and mind that she's not always going to be keeping it on, versus you see figures like Itachi, you see figures like Madara, Sasuke, when they're in a battle, if their Sharingan is turned on in that battle, they're keeping that shit on until the battle is done. We've seen instances where Sarada is in the middle of battle using her Sharingan for a moment, or using her Sharingan for a few instances and turning it off, understanding, okay, she needed it for a certain situation, but now she understands what's the job that needs to be done and how to get it done. Sarada is a motherfucking genius, point blank, plain and simple, and nobody can take that away from her. Base power level, Sarada has always been compared or parred up to Boruto in terms of base, taking away anything that has to do with the Karma Seal. Now we understand the jumps that Karma Seal Boruto gets, Karma Seal Kawaki gets, and how much further they are ahead of their current generation. However, it's not too far-fetched to believe that the only two that will be close in that scenario within the Hidden Leaf, because I can't forget niggas like my nigga Shinky and shit like that, but within that scenario of the Hidden Leaf specifically would be Mitsuki and Sarada. Now with Sarada, training her eyes is something that she has been so adamant on in the motherfucking anime. She's constantly asked Sasuke about the Mangekyo Sharingan and if he thinks she will be able to awaken it. Now Sakura has pinpointed her stamina and chakra control issues. Now they're both two very key things that will tie into Sarada's ultimate power up, where she's building her base and she's building her basic power level up to a certain extent, to where now if she's add a simple Sharingan on top of her base, it wouldn't just be something like, oh, the Sharingan isn't going to do anything to make her stronger. No, the Sharingan will be able to add on to whatever her base is. So if her base is like here, and then her Sharingan will take her here, but if she's able to reach her base here, her Sharingan will take her here. So in the sense of Sarada having basic training, and she's already being shown both in the anime and the manga how much she takes serious ninja training and the traditions of ninja meditation and all of that things, strengthening the mind, strengthening aspects to control your chakra and shit like that. So with Sakura focusing on that, one of the best ways to implement better control over your chakra, and understanding that Sarada is a genius in her own, where she can get told something and create her own way or own version to go about it, similar to how Boruto does with his different variations of his father's and grandfather's jutsu, and similar to how Naruto and even Sasuke did, coming up with variations of their Chidoris and respective Rasengans. Now Sarada did something that Sakura didn't think was possible by mimicking Sakura's chakra control, not by having good chakra control herself, but using the Sharingan to do so. Understanding that if chakra control is going to be Sarada's main issue, instances where having the Byakugo seal, where it's stored up chakra specifically meant for the sole purpose of being released all at a single point to, you know, power up the user in his basic speed, power, stamina stats and chakra stats and stuff like that. So understanding, okay, use of the Byakugo seal can be implemented in Sarada's case, where she can probably learn things about the Byakugo seal, or probably implement an aspect into the Byakugo seal where she's starting at a certain disadvantage that maybe Tsunade or Sakura didn't have to worry about, but because she's starting at that disadvantage, she's able to come up with something that puts her at an even greater advantage, where she learns to probably master the Byakugo seal, maybe in a certain manner where she doesn't need to do all of the things that probably Sakura or Tsunade did, not sense like a simple cheat to get there faster, but a different way implementing maybe her Sharingan techniques, understanding, oh, the chakra control that takes into creating the even seal for the Byakugo seal, maybe splitting her chakra into, in a sense of, you know, some going into the seal, because we understand how hard it is to actually concentrate and keep all of your chakra in that seal, keeping some in the seal and keeping some running constantly throughout her body, finding a perfect balance. And in terms of her Sharingan is already going to be strengthened, and we've seen it being strengthened in times and times again, where it shows like her having high hopes, high faith, and high feelings of love, of protection. She unlocked her Sharingan for the first conscious time when she realized she was about to see her dad. She unlocked her 2 Tomoe Sharingan when she realized that, okay, I really need to save this nigga Boruto. Boruto. And it's already been stated by animators that they have a specific plan of how they want Sarada to unlock her third Tomo Sharingan. But if we want to go into the novel details, she unlocked her third Tomo Sharingan when she was excited in training session with her father, Sasuke. So all of these instances are connected to, you know, positive feelings, positive emotions, but strong resolve and strong will, where it's like she wants to protect, she wants to be there, and she wants to be reliable. Mitsuki and Sarada both emphasize and stress how much Boruto isn't really relying on them in these current events that have been going down. So it's only going to be more of a push, whereas once Sarada has a clear goal in mind, she understands where she needs to go to be there. Their first fight versus Deepa, completely outmatched. Her Sharingan wasn't even able to track nothing that Deepa was able to do. She understood what she needed to do and how she needed to train. The next time she saw Deepa, she's able to completely dodge this nigga moves, react to his moves, you know, even deflect his moves, and she even powered up her chakra control enough to the point where she's cracking Deepa's armor. So let's not sit here and act like Sarada cannot be powered up. And then if we consider all of these basic stats with just saying a time skip Sarada with training, boosting up her base level Sarada, adding a 3 Tomo Sharingan, let's not even forget about the Mangekyo Sharingan and the Byakugo Seal that amps and adds on top of that. So it's all about basically where Sarada reaches at with her base in terms of how much further she can go into even touching the Otsutsuki tier. Now, am I saying she's going to be stronger than niggas like Momoshiki Isshiki? No. Would I like to see that happen? Shit, I wouldn't mind. But definitely in the Otsutsuki tier, once Sarada has that picture in gold painted in her head, there is nothing that's going to stop her other than herself. And she's already clearly stated that they need to be able to be strong enough to face powerful Otsutsuki's and threats and be reliable in terms of Boruto and Kawaki. They've seen Boruto fight with the Karma. So mind you, they have to understand how 100% Otsutsuki Boruto goes about things, but they understand the dangers and the amount of effort and, you know, power that it will take to eventually reach that level. And I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, base Sarada is going to exceedingly grow and get stronger and increase her chakra skills. But for the mere fact that her specific weaknesses lie in instances where, you know, Sakura is mentioning her stamina and her chakra control, and we already understand the Byakugo Seal will be a perfect measure to, you know, keep that aspect under control. And then her own words asking Sasuke, how do you unlock the Mangekyo Sharingan, let alone her being drawn with a Mangekyo Sharingan in one of the original Kishimoto drawings of Boruto Team 7. So it's like, these are two things that are more than likely going to fall onto Sarada's scenario. It's just about how they play out and, you know, the means of what it does for her character ultimately in terms of power. Now, when we're talking about the Sharingan, it's going to be a whole nother matter of its own, and actually have a whole nother video planned out for specifically Sarada's Mangekyo Sharingan. But all in all, Otsutsuki tier power level Sarada Uchiha is not that crazy, and I really don't want people thinking that, yeah, you know what I'm saying, niggas like Boruto Kawaki is just gonna be it. Mitsuki can definitely touch that level. A lot of people already understand that. I see people saying, yes, it's crazy to think Sarada wouldn't be able to touch that level. And I see people saying that there's no way Sarada should be able to touch that level. I'm here to let y'all know she's going to, and it can be done right. And if it's done right, it's going to be amazing. But to my next video, holla at your boy. I'm gonna holla at y'all black shit out. Yes, sir. Ski.
Can we take a trip to the sky? Show them that our limit's too high. Cocoa butter hips on the west side. She said